Welcome everybody to the channel. My name is Squeege, and today we're going to be talking about my favorite performances of 2024. Yes, I understand we're not 2024, but I didn't have a fucking YouTube channel in 2024, so you're just going to have to deal with this right now. Towards the end of the video, I'll do my top 10 of all of the performances I'm going to list, and yeah, so let's just fucking get started, okay? Boom. First up, we have Austin Butler in Dune Part 2. Yeah, I know he had a very minimal role, but what he did do, he did it fucking good. I mean, bald, barbaric, snake-like. At the moment he entered the movie, the energy just catapulted up. I mean, he was intimidating, he was fearsome, he was really impressive, especially considering that he doesn't do these types of roles often. So I was really happy to see him in Dune Part 2. I mean, that arena scene was amazing. It literally could have been in Gladiator Part 2, and if it was in Gladiator Part 2, it would have made the movie better. Even though I love Gladiator Part 2, there's no hate here, none. But Austin Butler really impressed me. Yeah, next. Talking about bomb breakthrough performances, we have Lily Rose Depp in Nosferatu. Wow. I mean, in my opinion, one of the most surprising roles of the year. Not because I doubt her at all. I don't doubt her ability as an actress. That's not what I'm saying. It's just she never really had that opportunity to prove herself, right? Well, now she did in Robert Eggers' newest film, Nosferatu, and she was fantastic. Every single ounce of fear that she was feeling, she made me and the audience feel that fear. And all because of that guttural performance, right? Everything you can tell was coming from the gut, from the inside. She was terrified, so frightened that you can't help but also be terrified for her. And I thought that was just on full display. I mean, her facial expressions were on point. Her scene where she gets possessed was also amazing. No practical effects, no CGI, no none of that. Just her in a room with the costume and her as an actress. She really killed it. She was the fucking soul of this movie. Quite literally, Nosferatu only is as good as it is because of Lily Rose Depp. And I will die on that hill. She was fantastic. I'm so excited to see what she does next. Yeah, so next we have a much more low-key performance of the year, I find. It's Justice Smith in I Saw the TV Glow. Okay, this film in general is really weird and offbeat and quirky. And yes, it's A24, and there will be more A24 films, well, performances on this list. But what Justice Smith did was that feeling of what the fuck is going on? That's what he did. And he did it superbly well. Oftentimes in his past performances and his past roles, he hasn't really had the opportunity to get a frontman role and really be at the forefront of a film. And I'm really glad he had that opportunity in this film because he killed it. He really, really did kill it. He was that feeling of oblivion. He did it so well. Half the time he has no idea what the fuck is going on. We have no idea what the fuck is going on, but he was hilarious, and yeah, I think that's one of the most underrated performances of the year for sure, hands down. Yeah, so up next we have Daniel Craig in Queer. This, again, like Justice Smith, this was amazing to see. Super out of his comfort zone. He's never done anything quite, not even close to this. And he killed it. You would think this is what he does. This is his typecast almost. He looked so comfortable in that performance. And why he looked so comfortable, because the character, who is somebody who is extremely uncomfortable, somebody who is dealing with addiction, dealing with his own inner demons, whatever it may be, Daniel Craig looked right. He just did. And this isn't an easy role. It's not at all, especially compared to James Bond or his roles in Knives Out or whatever it may be. Daniel Craig surprised me, and I'm so glad that the Academy and the awards, people are seeing that. They are, and I respect it. I mean, Luca Guadagnino, this was his second film of the year, first one being Challengers. Obviously, everyone loves Challengers, and I just found that Daniel Craig was the right person for this. Next up, we have Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley in The Substance. I mean, they were amazing. If you don't think they were amazing, I really question you. They had amazing chemistry, and the craziest part is they didn't really share that many scenes together, but they contrasted each other so well. You thought that, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And speaking specifically about Demi Moore, she just blew me away. This is her career best performance, in my opinion. I mean, the amount of vulnerability you need to have to do a role like that, it's beyond me. It really is. And she was heartbreaking and devastating, and she just nailed it. She really did. She really nailed it. You saw that desperation just in her eyes, the way she looks at herself in the mirror. You can see how she feels about herself. You know, it's really fucking sad, but she did a good job. Margaret Qualley, also fantastic. I mean, she's always fantastic. She's just super hot right now. They just deserve it. And I'm happy that they're getting the recognition that they're getting. Okay, up next we have Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice and A Different Man. Okay, talk about an MVP year from an actor. There have been multiple, right? Josh O'Connor is an example. Coming up, Nicholas Hoult is another example. Just actors who have done multiple films and killed it in both. Sebastian Stan, I mean, The Apprentice, he had the really tall and intimidating task to play Donald Trump, right? Obviously, that's a public figure, somebody who is very polarizing. You either are on his side or you fucking hate him. Not the biggest fan. Anyway, he did a great job. You can tell he put all of his eggs into this role, right? Down to the mannerisms, the voice, just the physical appearance, the way he stands and talks, the way he walks, all of it. He was Donald Trump. Sebastian Stan in A Different Man, on the other hand, was just not at all what you saw from The Apprentice. Instead, we see him struggle with confidence, struggle with his own appearance, how he views himself, and that's not at all what we see from him in The Apprentice, right? Here, instead, we see a much more subdued, a much more shy and to himself performance, and it's extremely quirky and weird, and yeah, partly due to the script and the whole manner of that film. But Sebastian Stan just fit in. He really did. And again, another actor where I'm seeing him do more challenging roles that normally you wouldn't see him do. And I am so glad that he's pushing himself forward and trying to do other things, because fuck, he's killing it. He's killing it. This 2024 was a year for Sebastian Stan, another MVP year. So next up we have Mikey Madison and Mark Edelstein in Anora. Wow. I mean, Mikey Madison blew me away. I'll be honest, and she wasn't really on anyone's radar before this movie. Yeah, she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and she was great in that, in her little portion that she had, but in Anora, you saw her full capabilities on the big screen. She's amazing. She was fantastic. The dedication that she put forth into this role is super present. You can see it in just in the way she pole dances. Like, that shit's hard. I don't care who you are. Pole dancing is fucking difficult. I've never tried it, but I know if I would try it, it wouldn't go well. You saw how desperate she was, and how much she just wanted to feel that sense of love and that warmth, and she was in love. And what Mark Edelstein and Mikey Madison did so well was really make you feel that, you know, that young love. It's so contagious. It really, really is. And in this movie, their chemistry together really was the power for this. That was the driving power for Anora, was their chemistry. And then obviously you get a lot more of Mikey Madison in the second half of the film. And that's where she just carries all of that. She just carries the legwork. She just continues to power through the film with her amazing performance. Super funny, super intense, super devastating, just tragic. But she wears all of those emotions on her sleeve, and she does a good job. And she's so fucking young too. I mean, like, that's the most impressive part. She's so young and she's able to really own herself as an actress. And I think that's just so impressive. Oftentimes, confidence is the key to success, especially in this industry. Take it from me, I'm also an actor, and I'm also somebody who's aspiring to be doing these films or plays or whatever the case may be. That sense of confidence that early on is all you need. We saw it in DiCaprio, we saw it in Matt Damon, we saw it in all these greats, right? Well, Mikey Madison is one of those greats, and I'm really looking forward to what she does next. Down to the end of my list, and here is where we have some heavy hitters. Speaking of, Adrien Brody and Guy Pearce in The Brutalist. Intense, really intense performances from them both, but differently. Adrien Brody, once again, very familiar ground for him, so there was no doubt in my mind that he would put on a masterclass performance. It's Adrien Brody. He is one of the greats, and he will be considered one of the greats when he retires. But Guy Pearce, I mean, this is his best performance of all time, in my opinion. I was completely convinced that this dude is a tyrant, somebody who can do awful things, but you're just waiting for him to do it. He's not doing anything awful yet, but you don't trust him, and you don't know why you don't trust him. You just don't. Even though he's doing so many nice things and he's taking care of his people, you don't trust him. And that's exactly what Guy Pearce did perfectly. That sense of dread, he put on full display. I'm so happy to see Guy Pearce doing a role like this and absolutely killing it. And I'm happy that he's getting the recognition he deserves. Truthfully, I really am. So, yeah, The Brutalist, stacked with performances. Even Felicity Jones, by the way, I wanted to believe it to two per, and like I said, right, two per movie, and I found that Adrien Brody and Guy Pearce were just, for me, yeah. Now we have Ralph Fiennes in Conclave. Okay, I love Ralph Fiennes. He's a GOAT. He's done so many iconic roles throughout his career, and I'm glad that in 2024, he also did The Return. I actually didn't get to see that. I'm really excited to give that a watch, though, and I'm sure he's going to be amazing. But what he did do, and what I did watch, was his role in Conclave, and he was amazing. That super wise, thoughtful, meticulous, and calm. Ralph Fiennes just did that to perfection. And because he was super calm the entirety of the film, those moments where he broke from that that mold, and you see him lose control not only over himself and others, but over his own faith. It's a really thought-provoking performance, and I really recommend that you watch it just to see him, right? There's nothing grand about his performance. Instead, it's all about how he looks at people who he doesn't even trust anymore, or he doesn't even know if he can trust anymore. He was fantastic. He really was. Yeah, Ralph Fiennes in Conclave. Killed it. Up next, we have Nicholas Hoult in Nosferatu and Juror Number 2. Once again, an actor doing multiple films and killing it in both. I mean, Nicholas Hoult in Nosferatu was, similarly to Lily Rose Depp, you felt that fear, right? He was getting pushed around by Count Orlok, and you just watched him have no control over anything. And that lack of control makes him spiral into insanity. That fear. Once again, we feel it. We feel that fear. Those facial expressions are super large and Victorian, and that's what's amazing. It's very theater-esque, and I do come from a background of theater. That's how I did my training as an actor. So naturally I kind of just gravitate towards those big theatrical productions, and that's why I love The Lighthouse. I love it so much. The performances, the set, everything about that film is just so grand and so ridiculous. And Nosferatu as a film is exactly like, I mean, it's the same director, right? But Nicholas Hoult fit the bill. He really did. And then moving on to Juror number two, it's the complete opposite. Now it's all about naturalism. It's about being a human being who is super stressed that he's going to get caught for something really bad. A classic courtroom drama directed by the legendary Clint Eastwood. Nicholas Hoult, again, fit the bill. He was just doing what he had to do. Nothing crazy, nothing big, but those little simple choices as an actor are what bring this movie to life. But yeah, I mean, Nicholas Hoult, kicking ass. Love to see it. Okay, so now we have one of my personal favorites, not only performances, but films of the year. We have Isaac Wong in Didi. Oh my God. I mean, okay, again, like I said with Mikey Madison, her being 25 years old, Isaac Wong was a teen. It blows my mind that he was able to just put on such a powerful performance so young, and it's because it fit him, right? It's a coming of age film about an awkward boy trying to find his place, trying to find a compassion and love, especially within his family. And I found that was the best part, was his relationship with his mother. Isaac Wong was fantastic. Super, super relatable performance, super funny, at times so awkward and so like secondhand embarrassment, but Isaac Wong was fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does next. Obviously, he's so young, so he has this whole career ahead of him. But if this is where he's at right now, I cannot wait to see what he has coming up next. Okay, so we've reached a real pain, and in a real pain, there is Kieran Culkin and there is Jesse Eisenberg, and they were both amazing. They really were. Some of the most raw, genuine, and simple performances of the entire year come from Kieran Culkin and Jesse Eisenberg. Specifically, Kieran Culkin puts on a heartbreaking but lovable performance. He really, really, really does. The character he plays, extremely likable, extremely friendly, and you can see there's this confidence, but it doesn't come from a place of happiness. It comes from a place of tragedy, of depression. And that's the whole point of this movie. It's understanding that human pain. Jesse Eisenberg, on the other hand, similarly to Kieran Culkin, just instead it's much more subdued, like Jesse Eisenberg is in all of his movies. This was amazing. And truthfully, I am so impressed with Kieran Culkin. Yes, he was in Succession, and he was fucking amazing in Succession. But on the big screen, A Real Pain, I connect with this movie, and I connect with Kieran Culkin in a way that I didn't think I would. He truthfully was beautiful in this film. That he really was. But yeah, one last one. And so we've reached the end of my list, and here we have Timothée Chalamet in A Complete Unknown, playing the fucking amazing Bob Dylan. Hold on a second. This man right here, my beautiful man, Timothée Chalamet, put him to justice. He really did. He really did. He was fantastic, right? Timothée Chalamet did the voice, the guitar, the singing, all of it was him. And that dedication, I have nothing but praise to give him, because that's not easy. It really isn't. Especially someone like Bob Dylan, who's so mysterious. It's hard to play these types of characters because there's nothing there, kind of, right? They're not an open book. It's like a mask is in front of them and you don't know who the person is behind. But Timothée Chalamet did a great job with that, and I'm really, really happy to see him. He's one of my favorite working actors right now. I'm really happy to see him continue to push himself further. He's done so many amazing performances throughout the past, I would say, like 6-7 years. And I'm just happy to see him continue. and push himself and push himself and push himself. So Timothy Chalamet as Bob Dylan. And yeah, let's move on to my top 10. Okay, as promised, I have a top 10 to share with all of you lovely people. All of the performances on this list come from the ones I just named. So let's just jump into it. At number 10, we have Daniel Craig in Queer. Number 9, Isaac Wong in Dee Dee. Number 8, Timothy Chalamet in A Complete Unknown. Number 7, Guy Pearce in The Brutalist. Number 6, Lily Rose Depp in Nosferatu. And number 5, Ralph Fiennes in Conclave. Number 4, Adrian Brody in The Brutalist. Number 3, so top 3 territory, everybody. Number 3, I have Demi Moore in The Substance. Number 2, Mikey Madison in Anora. Those two interchangeable any day. You ask me tomorrow, it'll be the other way around. You ask me the day after that, it'll be the other way around. But what I won't change is my number 1 placement, and that is going to be Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain. Masterclass performance, and that is my favorite performance of 2024. And there you have it. Those are my favorite performances of 2024. I'll see y'all next time for some more year-end rankings. Here's a mushroom. Squeeze out.